My name is Dariusz Furman. I'm the founder of Funventure game studio company. We are 20 people, 12 people studio company. Like we are really small numbers, but we have launched at least 2 successful games. We have launched many games, but only 2 were like one that I want to highlight. That the first one is Almighty God Idle Clicker, which has founded my company. It was like exactly 5 years ago. We will celebrate 5 years anniversary this year. And in 2020, we have released Miner Settlement, which is our currently main product, and we still live operating it for already 3 years. And we have a third ongoing project that is unreleased yet, but we will try to soft launch it in Q4. So finger crossed for us that it will be another success story, and I will be able to talk next year about it. But today I want to talk about the live operations, and it wouldn't be good to not tell about what impacted our industry in the last years. And I think most of the mobile presentations will have such a screen on today's presentations. The ATT didn't only affect the UA user acquisition side of our industry, but it's also incredibly affected the game design and how we have to think about designing the games and marketability tests and everything forward. And what is more, the state won't get back to the place it was before 2021, so we have to prepare for the upcoming things like new privacy policy from Google, which will happen in January next year. And we are already seeing the shift in our mobile industry that big companies tend to compete on a quality level, not only on budgets and the UA side. So for me, the definition of live ops is a bit different currently than it was like a few years ago. A few years ago, I was taught that the live ops is like only running live events and supporting with in-app purchases. For me currently, live operating is everything which is ongoing post the release of the game. So it's not only the design, not only live operation, but it's also whole new features, data analysis that is going of these new features, A/B testing, everything should be A/B tested. And this is like the typical game life cycle for me. So first we have like a concept, which is containing design, art choice, like marketability tests. Later on we have a development, which we are preparing like the final art, final design and architecture for our game. Later on we have a soft launch, which we are testing our basic KPIs, but it's already started with live operations. We have to already start measure things, how our game performance will look like, and how to what we can do to affect our players. And within the soft launch, I mean live operation of the early game. Okay, and post-release is like when we are going global, and we still have a soft launch going on until the game will retire. But for example, Almighty is for me the game which is retired, but it also has automated events for upcoming 3 years. So whenever you will play Almighty today, you will have events ongoing and prepared like Easter's, Santa Claus events, etc. It's already automated into our framework. And I have to showcase a few slides of because I will tell about live operating, and to live operate the game. It's really important to know how to target our audience and what affect what audience. Okay, so we have to tell a bit about how typical retention curve should look like. and what players engage during this periods. Okay, so for me, day 0 to day 7 is an early retention metric. It showcases how good is your game in terms of a broad audience, marketability, and about art style, core game mechanics, etc. Day 7 plus is for me midterm retention, right? And it showcases how powerful is your meta design. In this day 7, I feel like we have to make many depths of the game, like many progression levels to engage the player for the longer period of time. And day 30 and plus retention, which is the most important one for our mobile game industry, is it should reflect how players engage within your whole community. Because when I'm designing a game, I feel like I'm designing the fun for the community. So when we are launching, when we have RPG genre, we are operating with a community and their feedback and how to engage those different kind of players within our game. So what are the goals of live operations nowadays? First, for me, and the most important is like improve engagement, because players won't spend if they are not engaged enough within your game. Second is to improve in monetization, and this is kind of like running special offers, targeted events, or something like many things to there are many things to improve monetization, like running seasons, running weekly events, and it's not only inside the game, but also outside, like on a Discord, social elements, etc. And lower drop-off is the most the main goal, because when the player will finish their content within your game, it's mostly that he will just leave the game. So when you will not run live operations on those users that typically finished your game, they will just drop off, and you will lose most engaged users, and for which we are actually paying at right now. And the ultimate aim of the live operation is to maximize those lifetime revenue of the users by driving them engaged sessions every day for a much longer period of time. Okay. And now I'm going to the trends, which are the topic of 2023. So as I told before, the ATT come in, and many companies are struggling to get the effective UA. So many things have changed during the two years, and we see the IP adoption is much bigger right now. Okay, so for example, we have AFK Arena right now, cooperation with Witcher IP, and it was done because currently the CPIs of the campaigns are getting much higher. So it's also affecting how newcomers are affected by the game. If they are seeing, for example, The Witcher, they already think about the theme of the game. So they already know that it's an RPG. Okay, so the first check is done. Later on, when they are introduced to the game, when they see the creatives with Witcher, they also see the gameplay with character of the Witcher. Also, during this event with Witcher, they changed ASO. So it was the whole funnel optimized towards first user experience. And for small players like us, it's really important also to notice that IP is not only like a Witcher, like Marvel or something like that. We have many fairy tales. We have many mythology. We have we are like for example, Roman Empire is not an IP, you know. So and we can use this to lower our CPIs. Like King Arthur, Robin Hood, Santa Claus, Dracula, they are not owned by anyone. We have only to be aware that, about the copyrights, because some of those characters can be copyrighted, the look of their. And here's another successful story of IP adaptation. Most of our company thought initially that Snap will fail because of monetization, but it's actually not true. They have a really long tail of users, and even if their monetization wasn't so powerful to gain so big impact on the first sessions, they have very low CPIs because many of you like those characters. Even if I don't like Marvel totally, for example, the Deadpool, I really enjoyed the movie. Okay, so the single character can drive me into their games, and they have dozens of these IPs within a single game. And this is also something that we can introduce. Like, for example, AFK Arena is not only about Witcher, okay, but they can introduce within the game, their own game, many IPs, because their gameplay supports it, okay? And midcore under the casual hood. This is another kind of change to adapt to new strategy of the mobile game industry, because we can clearly see some great successes like Survivor EO, which gained a lot of traction in the first month. Hobby also introduced new Snaker, which is also another, maybe not as big as Survivor EO, but this is the same meta core loop within it, and it's casual. It's looking really casual, but after a few sessions, they are introducing so many different depths of progression levels that their design depth is really huge. So the spend depth is also big. So they can really afford, because they have a really broad audience because of the casual look, they can afford cheaper CPIs, and they have LTVs as hardcore or midcore games. And it's a great design choice. And here we have like a Mighty Doom, which is it's like simple Archero, but with an IP, and it's more casual than normal Doom. You know, like it's not the same target audience as hardcore Doom players, but it's a fitting much broader audience. You know, and also I've sorry, something has I cannot go back. Okay, yeah. So within these games, we have seen also that all those games introduce hybrid monetization, and there are many gachas within itself. So because gachas is a really powerful tool to drive in-app revenues, and hybrid monetization is a really good tool to target new campaigns and gather much quicker return on ad spend. This is another similar example. We have a simple casual look, simple game that is turning really soon into 4x. And within the first month of this game, they earn like 1 million. But in the second month, they earned like 25. It's because the very first beginning of the game is like really looking like a simple Idle Factory game within the frozen survival at him. Okay, so it's like really similar actually to Frostpunk of Polish game, but this we can see many like simple effects that are driving casual players for a longer period of time, like a simple storyline, simple casual characters. Next, we have a tutorial on which we are just tapping for 5 minutes into points in the screen. So it's like a driven cinematic. When we play only the storyline, and it's engage us further and further within the game. It's done to introduce more casual players within the game and encourage them to play further, because the storylines is something that brings them. We have a drama, we have a dying grandfather, and etc. So it's pretty amazing. And further, we have like a simple idle mechanics. And later on, we are introduced into battles, and quickly enough, we have a huge map of opponents that can destroy your enemies at any time for which you paid. So if you have a couple thousands of dollars to spend, I really encourage you to play this game. Yeah. And the biggest trend that I see now is like injected customized events. I found it really good strategy to stabilize your games, because, for example, here we have a Call of Dragons, and here we have Idle Huntress. It's like a waifu game. It's all of those are introduced like into the event, which is directly drive you through the few days of the first sessions, and injected customized events are pretty important for stabilizing your early KPIs. Because if you are, for example, running UA campaigns, you want to see stable ROASes along all your cohorts. And after post ITT, we are able to measure like first days, and everything further is like a model data, you know. So the stabilization nowadays is much more important than back like few years ago. For example, we are not going into whale hunting. We have to gather as many players and have stable results along all the UR performance. Because, for example, when you will introduce some kind of live event that is affecting the campaign performance, it will break the machine learning that you have modeled for a few months, for example. When we did a few mistakes, like we tried to target early funnels to improve the performance of the early ROAS. And the effect was that we burned out our early players really quickly, and we had higher ROASes during day 0 to day 7. But later on, this ROAS flattened totally, because we gave them too much rewards. We gave them everything they needed to join late gamers fun. Okay, so they didn't had like the same spend depth as the normal player, which was thrown into our funnel, and they didn't spend as much money during different progress levels. Yeah, and another trend is like a UA creatives adaptation. It's for a few calls it's fake ads, for a few are calls altered gameplay, but now we are seeing this actual gameplay introduced. Like this is AFK Arena, and this is Survivor EO gameplay mechanics. And when the Survivor EO was a big success, AFK Arena introduced their strategy to the UA creatives. And the same they did with Witcher. They introduced totally new gameplay mechanics into their core loop. So they introduced like gameplay in survival mode that is looking exactly like Survivor EO. So whenever new players are coming to the game from this creative, they see this. They can actually enjoy the gameplay they were focused to get, you know. So this is really important to not cheat your players. Nowadays, it's much more important. And battle passes everywhere. Like 1 year ago, there was a single pass, and now we have like multiple battle passes. And in our game, we have battle pass, which is giving points to another battle pass, etc., etc. So it's going much broader, and there is like at the moment we are running 4 battle passes at this day in our game, and we have only 2 events. Like there is one season pass and many smaller passes that are supporting a bigger pass, and this is like a really new trend because all the games are using this mechanic. But it's really important to note that this is not a mechanic that is driving the monetization. It's like a retained mechanic. It's like when you play during this battle pass, you even if you are spending and etc., you are you are progressing through the next stages of the gameplay. So if it's a really cheap package to purchase, it's like really good converting mechanic, because even if you spend like many days playing this game and you earned those rewards, but they are not unlocked until you purchase a really cheap price. So when you are unlocking this, you have when you don't have unlocked this, you feel like you are losing something that you already earned. It's the biggest conversion value for these battle passes. And what is more, I call this a retention mechanic, because when there are 2 types of actually players that purchase battle pass. One is that the one which will wait until he finish the whole pass and then buy to unlock all, and the one which will buy instantly the battle pass because it's a progression system. And both of those types have the same feeling to finish all the events. That's why they try to complete the whole battle pass as quick as possible. And that's why it is called retention mechanic, because we are limiting this every day. So they aren't able to complete the battle pass within the single day. But they mostly purchased it straight away. I have a small amount of time. Social and co-op mechanics. It's nothing new. It's nothing new, but it's getting pretty intense right now. Like, for example, you can't play Call of Dragons, which is a new game, without an alliance. There is a main quest block. You can't progress until you get into an alliance. And it's within our game we did the same, and we had a bit different goal. We wanted to engage the players into a community. So in our game, you can't simply join the guild. You have to be invited. So you have to chat with someone on the chat to get invitation to your guild. So when we are doing like a quest to join the guild, we are actually requiring for people to walk out of the crowd and talk on the chat. And it's initial step to engage player into social, introduce them the social elements. And here is how actual gameplay look like. And it's multiple players playing at the same time to join the battle for the guild, because guilds are like I wrote here, friendships are the biggest retention drivers. I have one player in Almighty who's already within his guild for 5 years, and I don't know what he's doing in this game at all. He just talks to people, you know. They are using my game as a communicator or something like that. They just going like they are doing daily guild events for 5 years. They turned out the int numbers in our databases. We didn't support that mechanics like that, and that's showcasing how social is really impacting long-term retention rate. And the knighthood, they introduced something like a social module, which is like basically like Facebook for their game. You can type your articles, you have rankings of influencers, you have everything there. It's amazing. And it's also not only within the game. You can participate within this social module outside of the game on a normal site, to talk only on a chat, to talk, to give advices, etc. Okay, so we have, I'm talking too much. Our approach is, the game is never finished. It's a main goal. It's like a main idea of mine. And how do we approach? We are trying to identify the current issues and problems based on data. Later on, we make priorities, but based on the biggest outcome from the lowest effort. And we introduced A/B tests for certain groups to test everything out. To test, the main goal is to make the funnel going further and further and further and further. So if we see within the funnel for us is like a progression for the game, and we have like quest, and we are checking if the drop off is bigger or smaller during the certain time of the gameplay. And if we have two big drops, we try to target this current drop off to engage the users within this drop. And if the drop is lowered, we have more players coming to the further funnels. And that's our main goal. And the live ops is not all about events and special offers. It's about constant improvement of the game. And this is the main goal of the live operating the game. Otherwise, running only the events won't introduce any improvement. It will be stagnation. It will be the same ROASes all the time, LTV the same, etc. Basic requirements are pretty simple. First requirement, actually, that I didn't talk about is like big depth of the game. This is the first requirement that you should have. Like a flat games won't make money of a live ops. So first, data analytics, A/B testing solution, established communication channel with the player base. It's really important. For example, we don't have Q&A internally, but we have like 10 whales that are testing our game every week. So it's much better feedback than the Q&A from your company. Full stack designer or dedicated team. For us, it's full stack designers because he is able to create whole new world, whole infrastructure, and we don't need a dedicated team. We just need one single but really good person. Well-prepared server-client architecture. So our game is like architecture because I'm a programmer. Our architecture is prepared like small puzzles. So we can do anything within our game without need of update. We can do new gameplay mechanics, we can do new events, we can do new type of leaderboards, we can do everything we actually want. We just sometimes have to hack something or something, like do some tweaks, but we can do anything your imagination can show. We didn't have any block for 1 year already, so we've done like runners, we've done like dungeons from Diablo, we've done many things like trading, harvesting, fishing, everything. And backend is like Firestore database. It's like a custom configuration file shared with server and client because backend is really important. It's Node.js. I don't have too much time to talk the details, but we are using the cheapest possible solutions like Firebase, functions, etc. So only framework is need to be really good. And now our things that we have done. So this how the game looked like half a year ago. Now it looks like similar to this. And it was because we had like really low retention day 0 to day 7. And to drive it much higher, we had to update the quality of the game to meet current standards of the market. Because we initially, with these graphics, we had like 45% day 1 retention on US 2 years ago. Like half a year ago, we had like 26, 28. Okay, so golden cohort is finished, and the market trend is going down, and we were unable to scale the game further. So we had to change the game and introduce much better graphic right now. And this brings us actually to day 1, 42% on the United States. So it's like double of retention. And day 7, it's not much impacted by the art. So this is a confirmation of what I was saying before, that art style is the most impactful on the first side of the user. Later on, it's a meta gameplay, and your game art can suck if you have really good meta. Flat day 30 LTV curve. So we had to add additional social elements, like I said. We have introduced, for example, initially we had like 20 people in a guild. Now we have like 15, and we have many things that they are doing together at the same time. It's really important that it have to be at the same time on the server, because they have to know each other and make friendships. So your game has to introduce the mechanics to make them be able to create friendships within your game. So we have like many players playing already 2 years this game, and they enjoy just guild daily activities and talking with people. They know each other. For example, when we have a few players that know the whole server, and we have like 20,000 DAU right now. So when they come to chat, everyone is happy about it. So it's. And we support that by doing like items with their names or something like that. Or, for example, we have mechanic of cooking, and those players are standing to order some food from you. The real players, Too low spend dev. So this is something, it is not easy to do. You have to get really huge spend depth. For example, I showcased the wings, which are limited in time, and this is the reward for the last reward on the season pass. It costs only $25 to gather this when you are active, but when you want those wings later on, you have to purchase it from the other players. And to purchase it from the other players, you have to get like 7,000 or 6,000 K of trade coins, which we are selling like it's equal to $2,500 later on. And it's even better because the seller is getting this value to his account. But the newcomers will purchase those trade coins from us. So this is like a mechanic that is getting higher spend depth when we are adding new content, but the players which are staying within the game generates the bigger spend depth. And the problem another, like CPI increasing. So we have introduced many hobbies to our early funnel to support the creatives we are doing. Like the fishing mechanic is the biggest hobby in the world. You may not know that, but it's the biggest hobby. And later on, it's cooking. We have both within the first session of the game, and we introduce like custom pages to drive users. Like when we are doing creative with cooking, the players will see in ASO cooking, and when we are doing the creatives with fishing, we are sending them to custom page with fishing. You know? So it's like the whole funnel. And we are introducing also, like I said, IPs that are free, like Minotaur. Most of the people know Minotaurs, Spartans, etc. Those are the IPs that everybody knows. You know, we want to introduce many more of these. Like, and this works actually really good. Too low revenue, and this is something old school does. You know, it's real life events. You know, like Christmas. You can see here we had like 5,000 DIUs, and we didn't break that yet. You know, it's like 4th month later, 15K DIUs more, but the revenue was the biggest one in this day. The introducement of Santa Claus event. We can't break it anymore. We know what we did there, and we had like retention 20%, but we squeezed out everything we could from this event. So it's like a must if you have like too low revenue for your company right now. So you can just put some real life event into it, and you will make sure you have some great revenue numbers very soon. So how it ends up, what we did, we have many things within our game currently. We have like today this is the screen from today to not showcase this. We have 3 live events right now. We have fishing, which is within the first session of the gameplay after 15 minutes. We have many dungeons, like many bosses. You can play like 1 month and you would not find every boss within our game. And we have, of course, season ranking, which is supporting all the passes. And you can see how many passes we have right here, you know, because we have the mine pass of the season points you can see here. And we have, like, for each event, we have another pass, which they are cost like $2, $5, but they are converting players pretty good. We have, like, conversion in United States 10% right now, so it's huge, you know. Yeah. No. We have total conversion rate of user base. You know? So when we are getting 100 people from the United States, 10 of them will convert into a payer. Yeah. And payers have much bigger retention. So like we have day 30 retention, normal from worldwide 2%, and payer have 15-20% retention rate on day 30. So it's important to convert users as cheap as you can. We have like VIP with no ads for $1 for 3 days. And later on they convert into normal VIP player, which is for 30 days and costs $10. This is our biggest revenue driver, actually. No ads, $10 every month, you know. And even if we are doing everything like this, so we have really high spend depth, people are talking that this is not a game, it's chat with a RPG background, you know. So social beats everything, you know. It's the main retention driver for our game. I don't have much time, so I talk everything. You will have this this presentation later on available, so it's like a summary for me. I didn't mention only the cross-platform is a new trend. We are going Steam and Epic within next month. And all new games that are coming, like Call of Dragons, is already released on PC, and most revenue is actually coming from the PC because they can make a cheaper prices because they don't have margin. Okay. Yeah, and the last one, which I will say also is. If it's harder to get new users, it's like the biggest information from my presentation. If it's harder to get new users, it's really important to retain the ones you have right now, okay? Because it's not getting any easier to retain more users, okay? So it stopped working. Yeah. So. That's all. Thank you very much.
Dariusz, thank you very much. Great job. We have space for one question if anyone wants. Oh, yeah. You need to ask to the microphone.
Okay, so you talk a lot about the social aspect, and you said your app is a chat app. So do you moderate anything, or you just don't care?
Yeah, we have moderators from all the time zones. Like currently we have like 40 moderators from different countries because like we have chat for every country that we have huge they use, but they are players. The most engaged one, the paid players. Like every moderator have like spent like at least $1,000 within our game. So yeah, they won't destroy the game. Okay.
This one was quit, so I will allow one more if there is one. Okay, I love presentations where half of the slides is titled problem, problem. I suppose that this is about doing mobile games. So once again, Dariusz, thank you.